Hello everyone. I have a special presentation to share with you today from Hervé Riboni. In case you don't remember or know who Hervé is, I have first included an older introduction video I made that is still very relevant. In short, Hervé sailed around the world as a participant in the 1993 through 1994 Whitbread race. Hervé appeared on the Globebusters 2 years ago and shared with us some fascinating information regarding how time zones are manipulated to hide the flat Earth. You should watch that interview if you haven't. Today, he makes a claim that magnetic declination is subterfuge to hide the flat Earth, and that magnetic declination doesn't actually exist. His information is very important for our purpose of actually mapping the flat Earth. Anyways, I hope you enjoy Hervé's presentation as much as I did. If Hervé wants to share any follow-up presentations, I will be happy to share them with everyone. Thank you. Of course, Hervé has figured out that the Earth is flat, and that makes him a friend. But what makes Hervé especially interesting is the fact that Hervé has actually sailed around the world. Not around a phony globe, but around our flat and stationary plane. Hervé was a participant in the 1993 through 94 Whitbread Round the World race. It is also called the Volvo Ocean Race. Here is Hervé listed as one of the participants. You can look it up for yourself. This is the boat he was on. It was called the Merit Cup. And here are some pictures of Hervé. This is a map of the race route, which began and ended at Southampton in southeast England. Based on his experience and his research, Hervé has some fascinating ideas as to how they have faked the globe, and some important information on what a true flat Earth map should look like. I hope that his information will lead to more investigation.
Hi everybody, sorry in advance for my English, I will try to do my best. If you want, please record the presentation, and if you think later it's not pertinent, you will delete it, or if you like it, feel free to do what you want with the presentation. The subject is, there is no magnetic declination on flat Earth. Very quickly, the official narrative of the magnetic declination. The magnetic declination is officially a magnetic field around the globe. And for what interests us here, this magnetic field deviates the compasses, or as we will see, it does not. How does it work? On this map here, we have all the official magnetic declination on Earth. Where it's blue, the magnetic declination is west, and where is red, the magnetic declination is east. The green line here and here, there is zero magnetic declination. And the other line, here there is 0 and there is 10 here, 20, 30 degrees of magnetic declination. Blue is west and red is east, okay? In practice, how does it apply? When you are on the boat and you want to go, for example, from the A point to the B point, for example, let's take this one. If you want to go from the Capo Verde Island to Recife in Brazil, let's imagine that this is a nautical chart, okay? So first you take your nautical chart and you notice the heading that you have to do from the Capo Verde Island to Recife in Brazil, okay? So this heading, this course, on the map is 180 is south, so it's 180. A magnetic declination, the compass is divided in 360 degrees. The 0 is north, okay? 90 is east. 180 is south, and 270 is west. In this case, you have to go south. In reality, it's not exactly south. but just to simplify to understand the system. So you take your chart and you notice the course, the heading to go to Recife. Let's say it's 180. After that, you have to add or subtract the magnetic declination. Okay, in this area here, you see from the Capo Verde island here to Recife here. So as you see, it's a little bit west, but let's just say it's south, just to understand. So it begins at 10 degrees west, and it finishes at approximately 20 degrees. Okay, so let's say average 15 degrees west. So with the 180 course, you have to add 15 degrees. So it's 195. So on the boat, you have to follow on your compass 195. So they say is south to go to Brazil, but they say your compass are deviate and you have to do 195. So in our example here, we have the heading of 180 plus the magnetic declination of 15 degrees. So that's a total of 195. In practice, you have to follow on your compass, on your boat, the heading of 195 to go from this point to this point. Okay, now we all know we are not on a spinning ball in space, but we use nautical charts which are made on the model of the globe, and while using this fake chart, we'll still arrive at the right destination. We take off our course or heading on a fast map of the globe, but we still arrive at the right destination. When I say they, I am talking about the manipulators. So they give us a direction to go where we want based on the fast map, and we arrive at the good destination on the flat Earth. So there must be something that makes the correction of the direction between the false maps of the globe and the reality. And there is only one thing who makes the correction between the false map and the reality. It's the magnetic declination. They add a pseudo-magnetic declination to be able to use fake maps of the globe and still be able to sail or fly on a plane in the reality of the flat Earth. There is absolutely no magnetic declination on flat Earth. All the compass are not deviate. They work very perfectly. The needles of the compass show us all the time the real magnetic north, but all the charts are fake. They had no choice but to invent a false magnetic declination to use the map of a ball. If we take our example, we understand that Recife is not there, but you start from here and you do on your compass 195. So 195 is 15 degrees here, okay? And you arrive here. So the Recife, the Brazil, is not here, but it's here, Recife. The Brazil is like that. So Brazil is not here, but in reality, it's here. And if you want to go back from Recife, Brazil, to the island, so you take your chart. The heading on the map is 0 degree, okay? Plus the magnetic declination is 15 degrees. So you have to follow on your compass, on your boat, 15 degrees. So 15 degrees from here, it's like that. But remember, you don't start from here, you start from here. And from here, you arrive at the good place. So it works in the both way. We can also illustrate this with this inflatable beach balloon. As you see, to transform the flat Earth into a ball, you have to inflate the north part, and you have to lengthen and deviate the south. Okay, and if you see here, this is Africa and this is Recife. Huh? So you have the island here, and Recife is there. Okay, so even here you see on the ball. On the ball here, you're going from the island here to Recife, but when it's flat, you have to go more to the west. If I transform it in a flat Earth, you have the island here and Recife here. You see here, it's moved away to the west. So this is the 15 degrees of magnetic declination. With this new invisible parameter, the magnetic declination, they create a duality. They always work that way. Like the star, they can far and big. They can be, far and big, or near and small. The sun move or the earth move, etc. With the pseudo-magnetic declination, they can create fake chart of the globe, and you still can use them on the flat Earth because the magnetic declination correct the right direction to take in the reality. Now let's see some interesting observation. In the north, you have only one single magnetic pole here. That's the North Pole. And in the south, in Antarctica, under the ball, you have two magnetic poles. Okay, this is for two good reasons. First, on the flat Earth, you don't have a continent under the ball. So to keep the illusion of a ball, they put one magnetic pole south here, and another one here. As you see here, this is the Peninsula Antarctica Peninsula. So just here there is the tip of South America, and on the other side, this is Australia is here. Okay. So to keep the illusion of the ball, they put a South Pole on each side of the flat Earth. And second reason for their subterfuge, they need to divide in two sides the flat Earth with the magnetic declination east and west. We will see why later, but this is the flat Earth. Okay, there is a South America here, Australia, Africa. So there is, to simplify, a 0 degree here and a 0 degree here. Okay, and on this side, the magnetic declination is east, and on the other side, the magnetic declination is west. Okay, is blue, is west, and we'll see after why. We also notice that the only two entrances for the public to Antarctica is close to the two pseudo-magnetic South Pole, where there is no or very little magnetic declination. As you see here, it's close to the zero, and here also it's close to the zero. It's close to the pseudo-magnetic South Pole. where there is no or very little magnetic declination. Or in other words, no deformation of the map compared to reality. That's very logical to allow at these two places, both with captain and passenger. Like that, they cannot see the subterfuge. We can notice also, if we follow the equator is it's here. It's this line here. Okay. There is very little or no magnetic declination, and you have big magnetic declination in the north and big magnetic declination in the south, because it's the areas or where you have to deform the flat Earth to transform it into a ball. You can see here the equator here. It's there is not a lot of they don't need to deform a lot the equator, but in the south you have a lot of deformation, and in the north too they have to inflate to invent some Earth surface in the north and lengthen in the south part the continent. Now let's see the circumference of the flat Earth. If you are here on the tip of South America, let's say the 55th south latitude, and you want to stay on this latitude and go around the world, all around the world, okay? So here, the South America is here. This is the 55th south latitude, okay? And you start here. As you see, to simplify, we have the green line of zero magnetic declination here, and there is another here, close to Australia. So we start here to go around the world. So we're going east. So east is 90 degrees on our compass. We start here, and we follow on our compass 90 because there is no magnetic declination. A bit further here, it's 10 degrees west. So you have to add 10 degrees to the 90 degrees. It's 100. So on your compass, you're going this way. After that, a bit further, you have 20 degrees. So it's like that. And 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Okay. Until 60 degrees, then the magnetic declination come back quickly to 0 degree near to Australia. Here you see there is the 0 degree, and we are here on the 55th south latitude. There is 40, 50, 60, 70, and after that they come back very quickly, 60, 50, 30 and 0 degree at this place. So it's going like that. You see, you have the difference here of the angle of here and even here for 60 degrees. So it's going there, and quickly we come back to the 90 degree close to Australia here. You have 90 here and 90 here on the ball. Okay? And on the other side, the magnetic declination is east. So you have to subtract here it. So here it's 90, 90, okay? But now it's on the other side here. It's 10 degrees. After that, it's 20. pass to 30, and it stays to 30 on this side. So it's about like that. You believe you stay under a ball on the 55th south latitude, but in reality, on the sea you have no mark. So you follow your compass, and your compass show you the good direction, and you do an ellipse. And as you see now, it's an ellipse. It's not a perfect cycle like on the ball, it's an ellipse. So, as you know, they always say the opposite of the reality. The official narrative is the Earth forms an ellipse around the Sun, but the reality is the Sun forms an ellipse above the flat Earth. But their subterfuge has a limit. It doesn't work anymore under the 60s south latitude. As you see, here under the 60s, you pass at 80 and 90 degrees of magnetic declination. So you're going too far on that way. So that's why we are not allowed to go under the 60s south latitude. We have the two south poles on each side. And now you have to forget the Australia because we are on the flat Earth. So the ball is going like that. So the Australia is not there on the flat Earth. And the tip of South America is not like that. Okay, so you have the 2 points of magnetic south pole, here and here. And it doesn't fit with their kerning. That's why we are not allowed to go under 60 south latitude. This is here. I can erase that quickly. This is the circumference of the flat Earth. We believe that we sail on the cycle, but with the magnetic declination. The magnetic declination lead us on an ellipse around the flat Earth. So here you have the magnetic south pole here and another one here, okay? So, and this is the 55th south latitude. So we are not allowed to go under the 60s. So our area is like that. That's where we can go. In other words, that's the area for the slaves. But they finished to draw the fake magnetic declination under the ball, but it's only to try to give a sense at their subterfuge. Nobody can go there under the 60s south latitude. Nobody can go there except those who have a real map of the flat Earth with no magnetic declination. As you see, with the fake magnetic declination, they can change the shape and the location of the continent to transform the flat Earth into a globe. In conclusion, because there is a lot of things to say, There is a very convenient coincidence with the magnetic declination and other things to observe. Hello everybody. I'm sorry for my English. I will try to speak the best I can. Before watching this presentation, for a better understanding, please watch the first one about the magnetic declination. And feel free to copy and share this presentation. I read the comments of the last video and I wanted to thank you for the kind ones. I would like to answer questions that are relevant. I also wanted to thank the globists for their comment about the reference to the polar star, what led us to understand the subterfuge of the magnetic declination in the northern part. As we have already seen in the first video, to transform the flat Earth into a ball in the northern part, the manipulator must create artificially Earth surface to transform a flat surface into a map of a hemisphere. We can see it here with the inflatable balloon. To transform the flat Earth into a ball or into an hemisphere for the northern part, we have to create Earth surface, like inflate the northern part. You see here in this illustration of the magnetic North Pole, we have a very symmetrical 4 quarters. Okay, 4 quarters design of the declination, and these quarters go close to the equator. How far they must create Earth surface for the ball. Let's see the other illustration to understand that. As you see here, the 4 symmetrical quarters come very close to the equator. The equator is this line here. So this one quarter, one the other, and the third and the fourth here. So it comes very close to the equator. How far they must create the Earth surface. And just looking at the magnetic declination pattern and the need to inflate the northern part, we already feel that there are some fishy things. Because it looks like a piece of a beach balloon ready to inflate it. We'll see later why. Now let's take one of these quarters to see how works the subterfuge for the northern part. The other quarters work the same way. In this quarter, so here, this quarter here, the magnetic declination is east. Here you have the zero line. Okay, so there is zero magnetic declination here. It's the same here. Okay. And from this line here, in the flat Earth or on the map of the globe, you have the same azimuth. We'll see what it is. From here, you have the same azimuth for the magnetic north, and the same for the polar star. So the MN is the magnetic north and PS polar star. And it's the same here. You have the geographic north, who's symbolized by the polar star, and the magnetic north, where the compass is attracted. Now, just a bit of theory. What is azimuth? You notice an azimuth with a bearing compass to report it on the map to find your position. So a bearing compass is it's like that. You can hold it like that and aim a point that you know where it is on the map. Or like this one, you put in the front of your eyes, and this is the same thing. Example, you can aim the polar star and you know the degrees of the compass. And after that, you can report it on the map And after that, you know you are on this azimuth on the map. And if you want to do the demonstration by yourself of the subterfuge, you have to taking account of a little rule. As we have seen in the first video, we have to add or subtract the magnetic declination depending on whether declination is east or west. But when you take a bearing compass to notice your position on the map, it's the opposite than when you take your course on the map and you report it on the boat, on the compass of the boat, to take your course on the sea. So we can resume it like this. Chart to compass is chart to compass is west is plus, and east you have to subtract it, and compass to chart so compass to chart is like with the bearing compass, is the opposite. When the declination is west, you have to subtract it, and when it's east, you have to add it. That's important to do the demonstration after. So we understand that on flat Earth, everywhere you are, your compass point the magnetic north. Okay? If you are here, you compass the north, what is going to be here or here, everywhere on the flat Earth. But on the map of the sphere, when you are here, okay, let's say you are in Moscow, okay, so it's the same place for the moment in the flat Earth or on the map of the globe. Now, they say there is 10 degrees east on the line of Moscow. It's just an example. It's not the reality, just to understand the system. But now, on the sphere map, when you are, let's say, for example, in Moscow, here, okay, and the same place for the moment on flat Earth, okay, Moscow, you have 10 degrees east, okay? Let's imagine that we are on this line here. So there is 10 degrees here. So according to this map, the magnetic north is normally is 0 degree here, okay? 0 degree, but on the map of the globe, you have to add 10 degrees. So on the map of the globe, the azimuth of the magnetic north will be approximately like that. Okay? But the magnetic north is not there. Okay? So here is the subterfuge. They're going to move Moscow here to here. Okay? So they create the Earth surface. They stretch the map. And now you have the magnetic declination is 10. Okay? 10. 0 is like that. 0 is like that. And 10 is like that. So it matches with the magnetic declination. And they move Moscow on the map of the globe. So step by step, more you go to the center of the quarter, you see the magnetic declination increase, and after it decrease. So more you go to the center, more you're gonna stretch the map. And that's why I said before, it's like inflate a beach balloon, because on each quarter, you're going to inflate it. From here, it's from here, okay? So it's 10, 20, 30. And more you go to the north, and more you increase the magnetic declination, and more you inflate the balloon, okay? So we understand it increases until the center of the quarter, and it decreases to the zero line, but all the time it stretches the quarter, okay? After, on the map of the globe, the 10 degrees east is not there. It's going to be there. And you understand? We enlarge the quarter already. And it begin again. And it begin again with the next quarter, but start the stretching from the other side. So this one is this one. It comes from here to stretch the quarter, and on this one it's from the other side. So now we understand that every quarter is stretched in a concave shape with the magnetic declination increase to the center of the quarter and decrease to the zero line. So with the 4 quarters in a stretched with a concave shape, we can visualize that with this balloon. You see the 4 quarters, and if we put it together, obviously it makes an hemisphere. So that's how they transform the flat Earth into an hemisphere for the northern part. We understand that there is 2 parallel worlds, the reality and the sphere map that we use, but we can only use it with the fake magnetic declination, which correct the stretching of the map. And when you are globers, you are sure that you are right, since you know that you are, for example, in Moscow, and thanks to the magnetic declination, the azimuth of the pole star, for example, correspond to your position on the map of the globe. You are in reality here on the flat Earth in Moscow, and your magnetic north here is 0 degree, always 0 degree on the flat Earth for the magnetic north. And you have the pole star at, let's say, 350. Okay? But now, on the map of the globe, remember, you are in Moscow here, and the magnetic north is 10. Because the 10 degrees of magnetic declination. So you have the azimuth of the magnetic north at 10 degrees. Okay? And you have the pole star, but you are here in reality. You have the pole star at 350. So you are here on the map of the globe, and you, with the bearing compass, you have the polar star at 350 because you are in the reality on flat Earth, okay? But it doesn't match with your map because it's stretched. So if it's 10, so let's say it's 0 here for the polar star, okay? But you have your azimuth at 350 because you are here on flat Earth, and on the map it should be 0. You can see on the map you are in Moscow and you have the polar star here. And you say, it's 0, but in reality it's 350. It's what you see, 350 plus the 10 degrees east, because when you pass compass to chart, you have to add the east magnetic declination. So it makes 0. So with the fake magnetic declination, it works. It's 0 for the pulsar, but it's not because the magnetic declination, it's because the map of the globe is stretched. It's wrong. In other words, they must stretch the reality of flat Earth to match it on the ball, but the real azimuth of the pulsar would expose them without the addition of magnetic declination, because it would not fit on the stretched map of the globe. So, thank you very much to the globers to help us to prove flat Earth. Now, let's see a very short video on the supposed movement of the magnetic declination since 400 years. So here is a very short video of the magnetic declination, the supposed movement of the magnetic declination since 1590. So let's see that. So as we see here, it stopped in 2020, and we find the pattern that we have now with the 4 quarters. Okay? So we are supposed to believe that they know how was the supposed magnetic declination 400 years ago, and we are also supposed to believe it's chance that nowadays the magnetic declination is in position to give a perfect trick to transform a flat surface into a ball, which trick is a masterpiece of mathematics and geometry. Seriously, who's gonna believe this? This kind of video is exactly what manipulators do to brainwash the people. In reality, you don't taking into account the supposed change of 1 degree every 30 or 60 years. That's the movement of the magnetic declination. It would change nothing for the navigation. On the IC, you try to follow the course on your compass, 15 degrees above and 15 degrees under the course. And some days, with the waves, it's not easy to do it. And even often, you won't try to follow the exact course because the boat is faster if you're racing or more comfortable if you're not racing with 15 or 20 degrees of course to steer. Every day, you calculate 1 or 2 new positions and you adjust your course. Furthermore, in 20 or 50 years, they can say the magnetic declination now move the other way. They may have started preparing us with the pole reversal narrative. The magnetic declination does not move because magnetic declination doesn't exist. The compass shows the magnetic north everywhere on flat Earth. It's the same kind of argument to say the North Star moved over several thousand years. It would be so slow that no one can notice it and confirm it in a lifetime. Now let's see some small observation of a convenient coincidence. Okay. This is Africa, and you have the map of with the magnetic declination on the world. So if you see from Africa, you have 10 degrees here, and it passes 20, and at the tip is almost 30 degrees here. So if we follow the coast without the magnetic declination, we follow the coast here. It's gonna be 10 degrees, 20, 30. You see the tip goes to the west like that. Now, Look this picture on Air Force One. You see, you have Africa here. You see the tip is going to the west too. It looks that on the Air Force One they don't have a map with the magnetic declination. Now let's see South America. As you see here, there is a zero line. The green line is the zero line. There is no magnetic declination here. And the magnetic declination is west on blue and east on red. So if we take off the magnetic declination, on your compass, you follow the coast like that. Okay? And if you are on the same longitude here, and on the other side, the tip here, the red, is like that. Okay? And in fact, the green line here is only on the map of the globe, but their zero line pass here. And all the continents in the south are more flattened. Here they move the Africa to the west also, because in the south hemisphere they need to lengthen the continent to match on the ball. Now let's see the Bering Strait. They put a zero line in the center of the Bering Strait, or in the middle approximately, so they can use the magnetic declination. In USA, here, the magnetic declination is east, okay, and on Russia here is west. So in USA here, it's 10 degrees, right there, okay, 10, and it's 20 after, so it's like that. And on the side of Russia is west, so you have to add the magnetic declination, so it's like that. And if you remember, what we see for the northern part, it's stretched on each side of the zero line, so the coast is closer than what we see on the Gleason, and also on the map, on the globe. Here you have the Bering Strait. You see, it's almost like a straight line, like the Gleason, but the Gleason is a projection of the globe. So as you see, with the magnetic declination, they can change the shape of the continent and also the location. As we understand now, the last big problem to understand all the transformation of the flat Earth into a globe is the distances. You cannot unfold the globe to have the circumference of the flat Earth. As we have seen, the two videos, they at least stretch the north and lengthen the south. So it's way too big. It's like if you unfold like this the globe, it's way too big. The flat Earth, the surface of the flat Earth is much smaller than the ball. The distance on the flat Earth will be the subject of the next presentation. But let's say some thoughts. We have to trust. What we know for sure is when we are in the north, okay, let's say it's the pole north here, and we are around those latitude here, we see the sun 24 hours. So the sun goes around us when we are here. Okay? And we know the water is flat and water doesn't lie. So what we know for sure also, it's the boat of the Vendée Globe. They start here in France, and it's the start of the race is in November. They start in November to be during the summer of the south for the race. Like that, the weather it's cold, but it's better during the summer in the south. So they start in November for France. It's cold. They pass under the equator. It's hot, very hot. And they turn around the Sainte-Hélène high pressure. They pass under the Africa, under Australia, and the Cape Horn, and come back here. And we are sure that it's really the course that they do, because when a boat have a problem in this area, they go a bit north and they arrive in Africa. If it's here, they arrive in Australia. So they really go, they do the circumference around the continent. That's for sure. And also, with the temperature, it's cold when they start from France. It's getting warmer and cold, and it stay cold all around the circumference. What we know also is the speed of this kind of boat cannot be the double that they do. It can be a bit slower, but not the double of if you unfold the globe, it's like 60,000 kilometers to do the circumference. And if you take the average speed of the boat, it's like 30 to 35,000 kilometers. But we're going to see some things about this later. Okay, now the reference of the speed for the plane and the boat is the latitude. Like I said, if you unfold the globe, it's too big. But the latitude, in 1 degree of latitude, you have 60 minutes, and 1 minute is 1,852 meters, 1.852 kilometers. So if the flat Earth is smaller than the unfold of the globe, the latitude is smaller too. So the distance is not 1,852 for each minute of latitude. And the reference of the plane and the boat, it's the latitude. They don't have a wheel to like an odometer to know what the distance that they do with the time. So if the flat Earth is smaller, the latitude is smaller too. So the speed of the boat and the airliner, for example, is not good. The airliner don't fly at 800 kilometers per hour. And another thing that we can notice is on the nautical chart, like this one, you see you will never ever have the road. You have only the sea. There is no road, okay? Because the reference for this map is the distance. Reference for distance is the latitude. Here you have the distance, okay? And And on a road map, it's the opposite. On a road map, you never have the latitude. You have a letter or a number, but never latitude. Because the two scale, this is for the boat and the plane, the latitude, and the kilometer is for the road. But the two scales doesn't match together, as we will see also in the next presentation. And let's talk about two anomalies. First, when you measure the distance of the USA here from San Diego to Savannah, it makes a certain distance that you can know with the latitude here, okay? And if you type on Google Map the road trip to from San Diego to Savannah, the kilometers on the road is only 15% more than the straight the direct pass, the direct straight pass. So it's not possible 15%. If you when you drive, you see the road. There is up and down, mountain, turn, everything. So the distance on the globe doesn't match with the kilometers on the road. That's the first anomaly. And on the Vendée Globe, they start from France here, okay, and they go like that until here. And on this part of the race, they do an average speed almost 20% faster than on the other part of the race, from the Cape Town to Cape Horn. And on this part of the race, there is the best weather condition to do the best average speed. In the first part, you have to change the system, the weather system. You start with the low pressure system. After that, you have the westward wind. After that, you have the doldrum. There is no wind. You can lose 2 days. After that, you are a bit upwind. And after that, you have normally a good condition in the last in this part. Okay, but when you are in the 50 south latitude, you have strong wind, you have big wave. The boat overspeed on the big wave. You surf on the wave. You have a good current. Everything is in the good direction. So it's impossible on this part. They do a better average speed than on this part. What does it mean? That means this part is shorter and this part is longer. And we can see also it on the ball. It's easier to see the anomaly on the globe. And for example, in 2016, Armel Lecléache won the Vendée Globe, and is still today he has the record of the time, the pass, the time. Okay, he did 18 days to the first part and 29 days from here around to Cape Horn here. So we'll develop this in the next presentation, but you can do the math. 80 days for the first part and 29 to Cape Horn here. And you can measure it with a compass to know the distance and the distance around here. And the average speed is faster in the first part. So what does it mean? It means that this part here is shorter and this part here, anti-Cape Horn, is longer. It looks more like that than on a globe. So it's all for today, and I hope you enjoy it, and see you next time.